Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. In this video, we are going to be learning about AWS EC2 instances. So what are the EC2 instances? AWS EC2 instances are nothing but the servers that Amazon provides us for rent from their data center. They don't use some of the servers, like they have a big data center in several regions and they don't use all of the things that they have inside their data center. They just rent their servers to other customers for users and they charge us monthly according to our usage, how we use these servers. So mainly you can choose any type of server starting from small to large, any type of instance, and you can also choose the type of host that you want. Either you need a shared host, dedicated instance, or a dedicated host. You can choose between any of this and you can choose any OS image that you want. You can choose the type of storage you need and much more you can do. Owning an EC2 instance means that you have more control with your infrastructure. This service is known as infrastructure as a service because we are owning the infrastructure from AWS and we are responsible for everything that we do inside our EC2 instance. So now let's do some hands-on experience by just creating some EC2 instances. This is our AWS root user account. Before we create EC2 instance, we'll be requiring some permissions to connect our EC2 instance from our machine. So for this, first visit IAM and from here, we'll create a new role. It will be AWS service. In this case, we'll be using EC2 services. Let's click on next. From here, we'll be requiring the SSM Manage Instance Core option. This will help us to connect our EC2 instance using Sessions Manager. And next one is Instance Connect. So this one will allow us to connect our instance using Instance Connect. For now, you don't need to worry much about this thing. Just select these two permissions. Click on next and just give a name of the role. Let's name it as EC2 Connect Roles. So here we are just passing SSM Manage Instance Core and EC2 Instance Connect. Just create the role. We'll link this role when we create our EC2 instance. So this is the role EC2 Connect Roles. Here we have not yet used this role. Now we'll visit EC2 instance. Now you can create EC2 instance on the location where you want. In this case, I'm choosing Singapore. You can choose any location as you wish. From here, click on instances. Currently, I have no instances running. From here, click on launch instances. So there are many operating systems that you can use. You can either use Linux, Windows, and even macOS is available on AWS. But make sure that you are not unnecessarily starting these instances because it will cost a huge billing if you don't know much about the instances and keep running those instances. Now, if you try to create macOS, you will not be allowed to do that because your account quota limit does not allow you to deploy macOS instance. If you ever think that you need macOS instance, then you need to request the customer support to enable that quota for you. For now, let's just create a Linux server. In this case, I'm choosing Amazon Linux. This is the name of the image. We can also name it the server. Let's name it as basic Linux server. Here, let it be 64-bit x86 architecture. As you can see here, the free tier If your account is new, you can get this free tier on T3 micro and T2 micro. So currently I'm getting the option of T2 micro as free tier eligible. If you use any other instance instead of T3 micro or T2 micro, you will be billed. And if your account is older than 1 year, then even if you use T2 micro or T3 micro, you will be still billed. But if your account is new, you will not be billed because you are within the free tier. Now here we need to create a key pair. If you have any existing key pair, then you can use that. But here I don't have any key pair, so I need to create a key pair. This key pair will be used to connecting to the EC2 instance from our machine. So just click on create a new key pair. Let's name it as Linux Connect and save the key pair. So it just downloaded the PEM file on my machine. Here is the network setting. Here we can either, if we think that we don't need an IP address, then we can disable it. But for now, let's just not disable that. Here we have the security group, like which port we are going to have open and which port we are going to have closed and which IPs are going to allow access to some specific port. So all those things come within this firewalls, that is security group. From here, I don't want to allow SSH connection from anywhere. Instead, I will change it to my IP only. It means that only my IP will be able to access the instance using SSH. And here we can increase the storage volume. Make sure to keep it below 30 GB because 30 GB EBS only falls under free tier. If you use more than 30 GB, then you will be billed. So for this, 8 GB is enough. Now here inside our advanced details, we need to select the IAM instance profile. For this, we need to change it like the role that we recently created was EC2 connect roles. We'll be using this role, and rest we have instance auto recovery. If you want to recover, then we can do this. We can make some changes. Then we have shutdown behavior. In this case, we'll be just stopping the instance. Then we also have this terminate protection where we can enable this. It means that normal users cannot delete this instance. And for CloudWatch monitoring, if you think that you need monitoring on the EC2 instance, then you can enable this. Now we have almost done all the steps and we are allowing SSH to our IP only. Let's launch this instance. So now our instance have been launched. Here you will find that it has created a security group. This one, launch wizard 1. If you view this security group, you'll find that it's allowing SSH over TCP protocol and the port range is 22 and this is our IP, and in outbound it is allowing all traffic. So here if we go to our instance, here it's running. Just visit the instance, click on connect. Here first let us try to connect using SSH client. Just copy this. Here we know that our linuxconnect.pem file is already downloaded in our downloads folder. So for this, we need to open our terminal or command prompt, visit the download folder, and from here we can run the SSH command. Click on enter, and now here we need to type on yes. Now we are connected to the Amazon Linux EC2 server. So we are connecting the EC2 instance using SSH. So here we also get the root access. So if you try to get the root access, now we are in the root user, and here we can also update the system and here upgrade. And we can also install packages. So now as you can see, this is just a 1 GB RAM server and it's having only one CPU. Now we have learned how we can connect using SSH client. Let's learn how we can connect using Session Manager. It is giving us the connect option because we have already attached the IAM role. This is a managed instance core. For that reason, it's giving us the option to connect. So let's click on connect. Here it's also the same. Here we also get the root access if you want. And this is the most secure way to connect to your EC2 instance, because here you don't need your key. Now we have another option, that is EC2 instance connect. Now if we try to connect using EC2 instance, for this we have also provided the IAM permission, that was EC2 instance connect. Now if we check the instance, we can find that inside security modify IAM role, it has the role for EC2 connect roles. So for that reason we are able to connect. If we click on connect, here you will find that we'll get this error because unable to connect, because what happens in EC2 instance connect, it tries to develop an SSH connection from a random IP. So this is not that so secure, but you can still use this option. For using this option, what you need to do, inside your security group, here we are using this launch wizard one. Here for SSH we are only allowing our IP, so we need to modify this role. Instead of our IP, just make it to anywhere IP. Now we have updated our security group. Here inside our instance, when we go to connect and connect EC2 instance using EC2 instance connect. Now if we try to connect, now we are not getting any error. Here also we can run any command and we can do anything that we like. The last option is EC2 serial console. This instance is not supported for EC2 serial console, but if some instance is having the option, then you can easily connect with this. After your job is done, it's most important to terminate the instance. For this, we can either stop the instance. If you stop the instance, you will not be billed for running the EC2 instance, but you will be billed for the storage that you are using. For this, you will find that we just selected a 8 GB volume, this one. So this has a separate billing, that is EBS storage, and this has a separate billing, that is EC2 instance. So just know that if you stop the instance, you will not be billed for this EC2 instance, but you will be billed for EBS volume that we are using. In this case we are using 8 GB volume, so we'll be billed for that. So it's better if you are not using the instance to terminate the instance instead of stopping, to avoid any cost. So click on terminate delete and it will delete your EC2 instance, and now it's shutting down. If you see that here it's showing session terminated, shell killing, and also here connection lost to EC2 instance. Here also the same thing. Now let's try to launch a Windows machine, basic Windows server. In this case we'll use the operating system as Windows. Let's use the 2025 base image and let's keep the architecture as T3 micro. For this we'll be using the same key pair that we have created, and if we want we can also use the same security group that we have created, and in this case I'm selecting 30 GB. We'll be also requiring IAM instance, so this was the IAM role that we have created to allow using Session Manager and also Instance Connect, so we'll be using this. And now rest we don't need anything, just click on launch. Now you can see that here it's showing the Linux instance is now terminated. It will disappear after some hour and our Windows instance is running. Here if we try to connect to the Windows instance, we'll get three options. First one is EC2 serial console, next one is RDP client, and next one is Session Manager. First, most of you will connect using RDP client, but for this, since it's telling that port 3389 is not open, so we'll not be able to access our port. For this we need to enable our port inside security group. So here we need to visit security group. So this was the security group, launch wizard 1. Here we need to edit rules, add one more rule. This will be for RDP, and for this let's just only allow our IP, save the rule. Now we'll be able to connect our EC2 instance using RDP from our IP only. Now here let's try to connect. Here we can also connect using Session Manager, but first we'll be connecting using RDP. Here you can also download the remote desktop file, but for this we don't need it. Just click on get password. So for this we need to upload our private key. Just click on upload private key, select the private key, and now decrypt the password. So this is the password for our RDP client. For this you need to have a application like RDP. In Windows it's inbuilt, you don't need to download anything. So copy the computer name and click on connect. So click on more choices, use a different account. This will be administrator and the password will be this. Click on OK, click on yes, and this is our Windows 11 Amazon EC2 server. Here it's similar to Windows, you can do anything you like. Now here let's try to connect using Session Manager. We have already provided the IAM permission, so we can connect here. But here you will be only getting the terminal access. Here we are getting the PowerShell access. Here we can do anything that we like. And also after your job is done, just terminate the instance so that you don't get any billing on your account. So now it's shutting down. Make sure to delete the instance after your testing is done. Here if you want, you can also delete this security group like this, action delete security group. For now it will not be deleted because it's attached to some network interface. You can wait until the instance gets terminated fully. Now both the instances are terminated. Now we can delete our security group. Here this was the security group, launch wizard 1 will not be able to delete the default security group, but we can delete this one that we have created. Just click on delete security group, then click on delete, and here it has just deleted the launch wizard 1 security group. If we try to delete the default security group, then it will say that the security group cannot be deleted because it is the default one. So that's all for this video. In next video we'll learn about AWS S3